Welcome to the MHMplus Globe Kit. If you haven't already done so, you can download the rotating globe file absolutely free from the MHMplus website. That's MHMplus.com. If you would like to extend your globes project further, you can download extra surface textures like these for a very modest cost by going to the MHMplus website. When you open the file, you will see the familiar Photoshop interface along with the 3D and animation controls visible. You can toggle between the 3D and the static elements both on the Layers panel and on the timeline. The animation has already been set up with keyframes which provide the locations for the rotating globe, which rotates twice. In order to replace the sphere material, you must click on the 3D button and select sphere material, which will then show you in the dialog box above a various range of options. The one that you want is diffuse, and you want to replace the texture with one of the new ones in the kit which you've downloaded. Here we are going to use the vegetation with clouds, so we'll select that, and as you can see, it's now been replaced by this new image on your sphere. You can rotate the sphere by dragging the controls along the timeline, or you can go back to the beginning and hit the play button, which will then render. That's these little blue lines here are the rendering. This is just the screen rendering, it's not the final rendering that will take place when you export the file as a movie file. You can apply any of the regular Photoshop effects on either the 3D or the still background image simply by clicking it and using tools like brightness and contrast. After you've made all the changes that you require, you simply render the video in your chosen format. Here it's .mp4. If you want to make changes to the 3D mode, remember to select the globe and not the background image. Go back to the 3D options and make sure that you are on the sphere and not the sphere material. This will then enable you to use any of these little controls at the top of the screen to make changes to the position of your 3D object. So for example, using this one, you can go back and forth, you can rotate and move the 3D object around in space, and of course you don't have to have an animation. You can use this in fact for exporting as a high-res still image. You'll probably come up with lots of ideas about how to use your rotating globe, but to get you started, here's one that we think is quite interesting. Delete all but the first two keyframes, and then one more to go, and then drag this up to near to the end and move this keyframe to that position. You'll now see that we've got this in something like 120 degrees from its original position. We want to enlarge it, so making sure you're on the front frame, just enlarge. Don't worry if it goes out of shot, because we're going to drag it on the XZ plane right out of the shot this way. And now when we go back and have a look at it, we can see that it's rotating and enlarging at the same time, which is quite an interesting technique. It then stops. So let's just play that. Bearing in mind that this will run a bit more slowly in Photoshop than it will when it's rendered properly. You can see the blue line here doing the screen rendering as it goes. It will be quicker once you export that as a movie. So, I hope you have some fun with your rotating globe. Check on the website regularly. We'll have updates and other ideas, and talk to you again soon.